Hello, all you freaks out there. This is Ryan coming at you live from the Freakin Awesome Paranormal Show studios, if I can get the words out of my mouth, which is my kitchen. So there's that. Hope everyone has had a good week so far. I know it's only Tuesday, so the week isn't that old yet, but I hope it's good. Hope it's been good. Boy, I got a little mark on my computer there. You know, we had an investigation at the cabin on Saturday night, first one since April, and I think everyone had a good time. Since there was some activity caught, which is always a good thing when you have a public investigation. And everyone who came out said they want to come back, so that was nice. It was a small group of people, which is nice to I mean, I do like the big crowds out there, but it is nice to have a small group of people out there as well. Kyle Mangus, what's up, Kyle? How are you? There she is. So my co-host is with the mostest has popped on, so I'm gonna go ahead and add her to the stream here.
Hey.
How are you?
Good. Don't you just love it? Your laptop is up and it's running and it's going fine. And literally like 5 minutes before time, like maybe 3 minutes, it's like, you need to reboot, and it starts counting down. And I'm like,
technical difficulties are always fun right before a show.
Yep.
But it's all good. I'm glad you're here.
Yeah.
Hanging with us. It's good. I'm good. I mean, it is National Brenda Day.
National
Brenda Day. So, I mean, honestly, I'm surprised we have any viewers at all.
For sure.
Because they'd be out celebrating everyone, all things Brenda. Way to go, Brenda. It's your day, Brenda. National Brenda Day. It's also National Sour Candy Day. And I do love a good sour candy.
I used to not when I was younger, but I like sour candy now.
You weren't a big sour candy fan
growing up? No, now I like it.
You said it hurts like right here when I have.
It makes your mouth water.
Sour candy, yeah. There was this Bubblicious gum. It was like sour apple gum, and it used to come in a 4-pack. It was like Paradise Punch, regular gum, maybe watermelon, and then sour apple, and that was always the worst, like flavor.
Yeah.
Even like sour apple Jolly Ranchers, those are always the ones that got left behind.
Like I can feel that in my teeth. You just saying it.
Yeah. You chew it and your jaw starts hurting because it's like an endurance test, But the flavor only lasts for like a minute, and then it's all just like chewing rubber.
Yeah.
Or buying those atomic fireballs. Remember those things?
Oh gosh.
You gotta keep in your mouth.
Yes.
That'd be like the longest 2 minutes of your life because it's like super hot, and you're like challenging your friends.
Yeah, you're like putting it in and out of your mouth. It's like in, out until that hotness wore off.
You'd have have it in a napkin and the napkin be like all blood red because I mean we had the fireball challenge growing up. We didn't eat Tide Pods or have to drink laundry detergent.
Yeah.
Back in my day,
Tide
you sucked on fireballs. Times have changed.
Yep.
So anywho, it's also World Listening Day. So if you're listening to this right now, you're celebrating with us because it's the World Listening Day.
Interesting.
If you listened at all today, at anything, you were just celebrating National Listening Day.
I was celebrating all day today. Then.
All day.
All day.
So we definitely have got the holiday spirit.
Yes.
Brenda. Sorry, I was going to say Brenda.
Whenever I hear Brenda, I think of 90210. I don't know why.
Oh my God, yes, Brenda Walsh. This is her day. My friend John, I think his mom's name was Brenda, or is Brenda? Brenda, maybe not. I don't know. I hope he's not listening, which he probably isn't. But if he is, I'm sorry. Little brain fart. So, we got Rachel Bradley on the show tonight.
Exciting. I haven't met Rachel yet, so I'm excited.
Listening to us talk about Brenda and Fireball. So let's go ahead and bring her on the show because I know she wants to join this fun conversation. We got Sandra listening to us. John Stevens, what's up, CR?
Hey, John Stevens.
Hey, Kyle. No Brendas yet, so we got to work on that. I need more Brendas.
You were Brenda, and she was such a Brenda.
She was such a. You're such a Brenda. Oh my god.
She was such a Brenda.
Brenda I know.
Her own day.
Oh, that's your. I know Brenda. She was such a. That's the new thing. Don't be such a Brenda. Oh my god. Totally. Okay. I gotta stop myself.
Now we're gonna make the Karens mad. Stop.
Oh my god. Yes. What is up, Rachel? How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Ryan?
I'm good. You're not a Brenda, are you?
I am not a Brenda, but okay. I do know a Brenda. It's actually one of my best friend's moms. I grew up with my whole entire life. Her name was Brenda, sweetest lady you'd ever meet in your whole entire life. So
there are good Brendas out there.
There are good Brendas. Now, Karen, that's a different story. But I do work with a very cool Karen. I do work with a very cool Karen, though. So.
Yeah, there are cool Karens.
Yes, there are.
Yeah.
They got the word care in their name, so they can't be that bad.
Yeah, right. Yeah, sorry Kevin couldn't make it tonight, guys. He had a friend that had an emergency that he had to go help. So he was like, you just go do your thing and, I'll watch later. And I was like, okay, cool. And Rhonda, it's very nice to meet you finally, too. I haven't had the pleasure of meeting you either. So
yeah, I'm sure our paths will cross soon enough. So.
Yes, ma'am. They sure will.
Yeah, Austin couldn't make it either. He's got some stuff going on, but it's all good. We're gonna hold the fort down.
Well, I'm still representing. I'm still representing.
Nice. There we go. There we go. So
I love my boys. I love those boys. They are just the best thing since sliced bread in so many words. So
yeah, they're really cool.
If goes wrong, it's Austin's fault tonight.
Yeah, right. Yes. There you go. There you go. I like the way you think, Rhonda.
Austin, or it's Brenda's fault.
Or it's Brenda's, exactly. Or it's all the sour candy that everybody's eating today, or they're not being active listeners.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It's a collab.
We have lots of avenues to blame other than ourselves.
Exactly. There you go. There you go.
Which I do every single show. It's never my fault.
And I just want to say hi to everybody that's on. Hey, Angela. Hey, Kyle. Hey, John. Hey, Nicole. Hey, Lori. Hey, Sandy. Thank y'all for joining in and watching.
John Stevens says he's such an Austin. Yeah, he is such an Austin. You're right. He's not a Brenda, though. All the Brendas out there, we're just kidding. We love Brendas.
We're kidding. We celebrated you all day while we were listening.
Yes.
All day long. We need a Rachel day.
Decorated my Brenda tree, and they sang Brenda carols. It's beginning to look a lot like Brenda. See?
It fits. That's all that matters. It fits.
It's such a fun word to say, Brenda.
Yeah.
So getting off the Brenda train, which is never a fun thing, but we have to get off the Brenda train for a little bit and talk about the paranormal. I know it sucks, but we got to do it because it's the Freakin Awesome Paranormal Show, not the Freakin Awesome Brenda Show.
Yeah.
Which maybe I should change the name to the Freakin Awesome Brenda Show.
We must focus. Let's focus.
Yes, let's focus. Come on up, Brenda, for a second. So let's go back. Let's go back to the very beginning. A very good place to start, as they say in The Sound of Music. What got you into the paranormal? Like, what were you growing up? Did you grow up with it? Did you something that's just happened like recently? How did you get into this whole thing?
So my dad, before he passed, was a huge sci-fi fan, huge Trekkie. So and a huge Stephen King horror fan. So, my parents were really cool. They were, one of those cool couples in so many words. So, I started out watching like Stephen King's It and Cujo and The Exorcist and stuff when I was very young. And then I tell this story to a lot of people and they're like, are you kidding me? So I have a childhood trauma, as I call it, in so many words, quotations. from a clown that my grandma had gotten me. That was like a 3-foot porcelain clown that used to sit in my bedroom with me. Well, I told my parents, and I have no brothers or sisters, so let me pretext that. There was just something off with this clown. So every night I would put this clown in the chair that was in my bedroom facing the wall. Well, every morning when I woke up, that clown in that chair would be turned around facing me. So I didn't think anything about it until later on, until I got into the paranormal. But I think there was something maybe attached to that clown, because the ending game with that clown was I had completely turned it around facing the wall, like away from my bed. Well, that one next morning when I woke up, that chair was beside my bed and that clown was out of the chair on my nightstand staring at me when I woke up. So I was like, yeah, no, I'm done. I'm good. I'm good. But then with the passing of my father, I lost my father when I was 14 to cancer. Very tender age, very hard on me because I was the only child. I was a daddy's girl. But people have said it was just my grief coming through and it was just me wishing that I would have seen him one more time before he passed. But I had the most vivid and lucid dream about him one night where I knew it was him coming to see me, because he told me things that, he told me his whole entire life before he passed, where he wanted to retire to and stuff like that. And he told me that, he knew I loved him, that he was always going to be here for me. He was always going to watch over me throughout my whole entire life, but he wanted to show me where he was living now. He wanted to show me his heaven. So he took me to a cabin in the middle of the woods with a little creek with a waterfall. And my whole entire life, he said, when I retire, that's what I'm going to live in, is a cabin in the middle of the woods. I'm going to play my music. I'm going to drink my beer. I'm going to smoke my cigarettes. And it was such a real dream that from that point on, I knew there was something that was beyond our existence that we have in this life. I am a firm believer that we're just, what we live in now is just a vessel. Our souls do move on to other lives. There's been people in my life I've met that I know I have known in past lives. So, that was the main thing that got me into it. And then I just happened to be invited on my first ghost hunt back in 2019 or 2020. I've been on so many investigations since I can never remember. But that really solidified me wanting to be in the paranormal community and really dive into everything that is paranormal. I want to learn more, and that's pretty much how it all started. And here I sit on the Freakin Awesome Paranormal Show. So, hey, it all works out.
I had my mom passed away back in 2006 of heart problems.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like upset like you were. And a few months after she had passed away, I had a dream like you had, and it was so real. Yeah. She came back to me and she was saying like, and I knew she had passed away. Yeah. And I told her that. I'm like, look, I was at the funeral. She's like, no, I'm fine. I just went away. I was sick, but I came back, or something like that. Mm-hmm. And like when I was dreaming it felt like things were back to normal again. Everything was fine. We were good. I remember just, in the kitchen with her, she's making dinner. It felt like she was back, and it was like so. And didn't even question it. Like
it was so real.
Yeah. I mean, it didn't have a reason didn't make sense. Like, but I was just so happy to have her back. Yeah. And when I woke up from the dream, and it was so real. It almost felt like losing her again.
It did. Yeah.
But on a smaller scale and stuff. But it's like,
it's weird how you can have such a lucid, vivid dream about someone that's so dear and near to you, raised you, gave you life, made you the person, helped to make you the person that you are today. And, and that was one other thing, when my dad, in that dream, my dad said, I can only come back and visit you 3 times for, the rest of your days. And when I come back to visit you, it'll be during the most trying times of your life. And I literally have had 3 very trying times in my life where my dad came back and visited me and said, it's going to be okay. You're going to be okay. You're going to get through this. I've got you. You know, I will always have you. I will always be over you, looking over you, making sure that you're okay. But this right now is when you need me. You're always going to need me, but right now is when you really need my guidance to get through with, you know, what you're going through. So, I mean, I'm a firm believer that, you know, people do come back and visit you when they pass, when they're ready, in so many words.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think it's when they're ready and when they think you're ready.
Yes, ma'am. Exactly.
I think
and I'm probably going to say that a lot, Rhonda, because it's just me. I say yes, ma'am, yes, sir, you know, so on and so forth. So please don't mind me. If you all want me to make fun of Rachel, stop calling me ma'am.
No, we're not that old. Come on.
Well, I know. It's just the way I was raised.
I understand.
My parents raised me, they're good Southern values in so many words, because, you know, I was born and raised here in Virginia, and I've never moved. I've never lived anywhere else. So.
Yeah, me too. Same here. I've always been here. I've always been to Virginia.
3 natives, three natives, literally.
Yep. So, do you think your dad visited you in your dream because that's how he thought would be the best way to approach you, instead of coming to you like as a spirit or something like that? I do.
Yeah, I do. I think that was the easiest way for him to come and visit me, because, you know, it takes a lot of energy for an entity, spirit, ghost, whatever whatever you want to call it, to be able to manifest, for you to be able to see them with your physical eyes. And when you're sleeping, you're more open and you're more awake to be able to have, you know, that reception to come in, because your subconscious is, you know, kind of, I don't say null and void, but, you know, it's just you're at a more relaxed state. So I definitely think that was the easiest way for him to be able to come to visit me. Yes, sir.
So if you're done, you woke up, so you knew right away that this was more than just a dream.
Oh yeah, I woke up and I was like, I was crying as hard as the day that my mom and my Nana came. When I still remember, I was in 8th grade. I was in 4th period gym class, Mrs. Allgood's class, and my guidance counselor came and got me and said, "Hey, your mom and your Nana are here. They need to speak with you." And I knew then. I knew then. And the weirdest thing is, and you know, when I was 11 years old, I told my dad, because my dad was a very heavy smoker. He played music. He played bluegrass and Southern rock and classic rock. And he was a very heavy smoker. And I told him when I was 11 years old, I said, "Daddy," I said, "I want you to stop smoking." And he said, "Okay, you know, okay, Princess, I will." And I said, No, I really want you to stop smoking, because I don't want you to pass when you're 42. Well, my dad was 42 when he passed. Wow. So it was just kind of, it's just kind of weird how and I don't want to say how everything kind of fell into place or transpired, but it was just kind of weird that at 11 years old, I said the number 42, and that's how old he was when he passed. You know, and I've surpassed him by 2. I'm telling my age here, people. I've surpassed him by 2 years, and I have, you know, 2 grown boys of my own. Our oldest will be 20 in September, and our youngest will be 19 in November. So, you know, I just always have that in the back of my mind, that I don't want to leave, you know, our kids, you know, even though they're older than I was, I don't want to leave them like, and I hate to say leave like my dad did, but I don't want them to have to go through the same heartache that I did. So, you know, that's why I try, quotations, I try to be good, but I'm not always good. So,
that's my motto. I try to be good, but I'm not always good.
Yeah, exactly.
Put that on a t-shirt.
Yeah, right. There's lots of t-shirts I could make up. So.
I have where it says Brenda across it.
Oh, and hey, Austin, hope you're doing okay, buddy. It's your girl. So sorry, I had to do that.
Okay, I saw his. It's your boy.
Yeah, it's your boy.
It's your host. I'm only a year older than you are, so you definitely don't need to call me sir.
Ryan, it's habit, man. I'm sorry. I promise I'll try not to.
What else you want, sir?
Try not to have it come out my mouth anymore.
I wonder. going back to the whole clown thing, I wonder if you know, you kind of grew up with it. Did you talk to your parents about it? Like, dude, seriously, this clown is freaking me out.
Oh, yes, constantly. They said, "Oh, it's just your imagination. Don't worry about it. Nothing's happening." And like I would wake up every morning and be like, "That clown has moved." And I literally would let them watch me put the clown in the corner. And every morning I would wake up and I would run out my room and be like, "The clown has moved. The clown has turned around." They're like, "Oh, you just must have done it in the middle of the night." No, I'm not going to get up in the middle of the night and turn this freaky clown to look at me. No, I'm sorry. I'm not going to do it. So, and like I said, I had no brothers or sisters, and I know my parents, I mean, they were always funny and they, like to play jokes on people, but I know they wouldn't traumatize their own, well, at least I would hope they wouldn't traumatize their own child. So.
God, my mom, man, we watch these movies. I hate horror movies. I just don't like them. They're not my favorite. I don't like to watch them. And people make fun of me for it. I don't care. I don't like horror movies. I think because I was a kid, my mom would make me watch horror movies.
Mm-hmm.
And I would be hiding behind the chair, freaking out and stuff. And then she'd be like, "All right, go out. You need to take the trash out." And I'd have to go downstairs behind the house and go take the trash out. Or she would start blinking the lights on and off, going, "Ryan."
Oh, that's horrible.
I would run down the stairs as fast as I could. You ever seen that SpongeBob episode, The Night Shift?
Yes.
Where he's like the hand hashing his hand. I remember the time when we had to take the trash out. He's like screaming, running at the dumpster. That was me every night to take the trash out after I'd watch a horror movie.
Well, no, don't feel bad because, Kevin, my husband, he doesn't do horror movies. And everybody laughs when I tell the story. When The Conjuring the first Conjuring came out, I was like, "We have to go see this. Please, please, for the love of God, please go see this with me." And he was like, "Fine. All right, I'll go see it with you." And so we were sitting in the movie theater, and the part where she's lighting the matches
to
try to see, and then all of a sudden you see the hands go like that. Man, he jumped out of Kevin, I love you. When you watch this, I love you, babe. But he jumped out of his seat and he looked at me, and I think he said every explicitive to me as quiet as he could. And the last words were, "I can't believe I can't believe I actually let you talk me into going to watch this movie." But he doesn't do horror movies either. But it's weird because I know a lot of people that don't do horror movies, but love going and doing paranormal investigating, and I know it's not the same thing. It's not everything's a demon. No, everything's not paranormal and stuff like that. But it's just kind of weird how they can't watch like a CGI movie where a ghost is coming through the wall, but they'll go sit in a dark room for 2 hours trying to communicate with something that's, you can't see, but you might be able to hear. So it's kind of a weird, I can't think of the word I want to use right now, but it's kind of a weird twist in so many words.
Yeah, I mean, I think when I tell people I don't like horror movies, but they're like, "You like ghost hunting?" I'm like, it's not the same thing.
Yeah.
It's not like Paranormal Activity where I go to the cabin and somebody's going to drag me up the steps or, something like that. It's not, a scare a minute. And I don't like jump scares.
Mm-hmm.
I don't particularly like going to the haunted houses where people jump at you. And I think I probably get too into movies.
I'll say I don't love haunted houses. I don't love haunted. I don't like people jumping out and trying to chase me.
Yeah.
And things like that. They might get punched if you do that. That's why I don't go to those things.
For some people, it's an adrenaline thing.
Yeah.
For me, it's a paranoid thing. And the same thing with going to see like a horror movie and I don't like seeing people get cut up and dismembered. And, if I get into a character and I like the character, watching them die does not make me feel good,
Yeah.
So, and it's,
now see, I mean, I love horror movies, but I don't like I'm not into the gory ones like Saw.
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody's like, "Oh, I can't believe you don't like Saw." I don't like Saw. I don't want to see someone cut their own hand or foot off to be able to escape from the creepy clown or the creepy faced guy or whatever the heck you want to call them. I don't like those kinds of movies, but I do like the jumps. I hate to say it. I do like the jump scare movies, and stuff like that. Yeah. So it's weird, but but like I love this. I just love what we're able to do, and when we get answers in those EVPs, or if we see those shadow figures or hear those knocks, it's just, to me, it's confirmation that I'm not just doing it for nothing, that something is trying to communicate from the other side and to give us a story or let us know that they're there and they do want to communicate with us. So it's my favorite thing ever. I tell people all the time, I could talk about this for hours. So, it's just, I just really, really, really enjoy it.
Do you remember what your first EVP was?
Oh, I thought you were froze. You were so statuesque. You were just sitting there.
It's my thinking pose.
There you go.
I'm in deep thought right now. Do you remember what your first EVP that you captured was?
First EVP was on my first investigation ever down at Applewood Colonial Bed and Breakfast down in Williamsburg, Virginia. That was the first investigation I ever went on with actually Kevin's best friend, Danny, and his girlfriend, Monica, who lived literally 2 doors down from us. And that was the first EVP I heard. That was the first time I ever got touched. That was the first time I ever saw a shadow on the wall. That was a lot of that investigation right there. Was a first for a lot of me. I can't tell you now what it said, but I know it was something that was those. I was like, did y'all hear that? And they were like, yeah. I was like, oh my God, did y'all hear that? So I made them replay it like 5 times because I was a newbie. I'd always been interested in it, but that was my first, oh my gosh, I can't talk. Official first investigation ever. And that was with actually, Flumeri Promotions.
It is such a fun experience when you get your EVP for the first time, because when you watch the shows on TV, it's fun to watch, and you could 99.9% believe that there's something out there, but until you experience it for yourself, because you experienced it like when you were a kid with the demon clown you had in your room.
That's exactly what it was too, the demon clown.
but to have that you have that proof, and you were by yourself or whatever, the person that you heard the voice didn't say it, yep. The light bulb goes off and you're like, holy crap. And it's like opened up a whole new world for you. It did.
And it's been just an amazing ride since. We've been to so many different places doing publics and doing privates and, and everything like that. And then, going to other people's events and just the people that I've met throughout the paranormal community of just doing it for 3 or 4 years now. I've met my people in so many words. I was always kind of, I don't want to say weird, but I was always the one who always got picked on because, Rhonda, if you ever meet me, I'm 6'2". I'm very tall. And, so I got twin towers and I got long john silver. And then my mom cut my hair very short my hair is very long, by the way, it's just up in a bun, but, my mom cut my hair very short. And so, Saved by the Bell, I got called Screech, and so, but then once I got older and once I really started delving into the paranormal community, I've met a lot of amazing individuals with amazing locations like the Cabin on 360. I'm just throwing that out there. Yes, I'm telling you, if anybody's watching and you've never been to the Cabin on 360, I highly recommend it because that place is crazy. So it's in my top 5 for sure. So, but yeah, I finally met my people that are kind of, I don't want to say weird because they're not weird. They're just into the same thing I am. And I'm just kind of like, hallelujah. I've met a big, huge community family that I absolutely, absolutely adore. So,
we sit around the dark, talk to dead people. What's weird about that?
Nothing. I tell everybody at work.
Really normal.
Everybody at work. I've told customers at work, yeah, I'm a paranormal investigator. And like, well, what do you mean? I'm like, I'm a ghost hunter. And they're like, what do you mean you're a ghost? I'm like, I go talk to dead people in the dark. And they're like,
is it like that hard to understand?
It's hard to explain to people that have never done it. And they're like, well, aren't you scared? I'm like, look, what you see on TV is not what happens in real life. You can go and sit in a room for 2 hours and talk to a dark room and not have anything. But then you can go somewhere, and as soon as you walk in the door, you're hearing knocks and bangs and walks and footsteps and all kinds of stuff. I said, but it's not everything's demonic. You can't get possessed. It's very rare that something bad is going to happen to you. And I just have to kind of explain it to them. And they're like, oh, well, that sounds kind of interesting. And I'm like, well, come on, come join us. You'll be brought in. So
join us. Come.
Yeah.
Join the family.
We are not a cult. Join us.
I think a lot of times people, like, when they're, it's because it has to be entertaining to watch those. So you've got to really kind of play it up. You know, when you get EVP, you got to be more, oh my God, freak out more. So people could be entertained for people. Might be like, oh, okay, well, that's cool. That's nice.
Yeah,
which is how we are most of the time when we catch something.
Yeah, well, and like I tell everybody, I'm like, you watch these shows, they're 30 minutes or maybe an hour long, however long they are. I said, you got to think, they've probably been there anywhere between a week to 7 days, sometimes 10 days. And this is just all the edited stuff down of the best moments that happened. There was probably times they sat there and twiddled their thumbs and thought, okay, nothing's going to happen. And then bam, boom, something big happens. Oh, okay, we've got to put that in that episode to show that this place does have some activity, because it raises, I don't want to say awareness, but it raises, interest in the location. If of course, when you show the stuff that does happen. But it's just, it's weird, but it's my cup of tea. I love it. I dragged my husband into it. My husband is the biggest skeptic you'll ever meet in your whole entire life. And he's been on plenty of investigations with me, and he's still a skeptic. That's his favorite thing to do, is debunk. And until he cannot explain it. And then he's finally like, okay, yep, that was something that happened. His first investigation ever, he got touched up at Haldeman Mansion up in Pennsylvania when they were still doing public investigations. And we called it, well, two of our other teammates, Pat and Dallas Barker, actually were filming him not just him, but just filming. And you actually saw his shirt indent and come back out, and he turns around. There's a guy probably a good 7 to 10 feet away, and you see it because there's no audio, and you see him go, and the guy's like, so from that point on, Kevin was just like looking through like all, because we were in a summer kitchen in the middle of Pennsylvania in August. So it was hot as Hades just to begin with. And he was trying to figure out what happened, and he is still to this day, he can't figure out. And I'm like, you got touched, buddy. You got touched. Just go with it. You got touched. So
just accept the fact that you got touched.
Yeah, exactly. Just accept it. Just come with us. Just accept
it. Join us. It's okay.
Exactly.
We got Angela Ward talking about wanting to investigate the Clown Hotel. That sounds like right up your alley there, Rachel. No. Bring your friend.
Nope. Mm-mm. I'm good. I draw lines. There's certain things I draw lines at. I'm one of those ones, like everybody's like, who wants to do a solo? I'll do it right here. Me. But don't get me around. I don't do dolls. I don't do mirrors, and I don't do clowns. So you'll never see me mirror scrying. You'll never see me hardly ever hold a doll except for Xavier, who is Get Haunted's mascot. And you'll never see me. No, you'll never see me anywhere where I see nothing but clowns. Nope. All the girl will come out of me, and that's just putting it nicely. So you know what I'm saying, Rhonda, when I say all the girl. You know exactly what I'm saying. Kristen, we love you too.
So Angela, no clown dolls in a house with mirrors.
Yeah, no.
That would be the
no.
The
now, what about mirror scrying? Is that kind of, I get clowns because of your experience, but what about the mirror scrying do you not like?
Mirror scrying to me, I mean, mirrors, they are a portal. They can have a lot of stuff that come in and out of them that I don't want to deal with, in so many words. And I feel like, excuse me, guys, I'm sorry. I feel like if you open that up through that mirror, then you're just asking for trouble. And I don't feel comfortable with it. Personally, anybody else who wants to do it, more power to you. Right. I just personally don't feel comfortable with doing it.
I was just curious if it happened, or just from what you'd seen, you weren't interested, or
Well, I mean, we had a public investigation at Magnolia Grange, and Wheeler from Forgotten Explorations, Jacob Wheeler, did some mirror scrying while we were there. His first time ever doing it. And I didn't want to do it way before this. Had no interest in it. But as he was doing it, our youngest son, Corey, was there with us. And we were sitting back there, and he was like, Mom, he's like, what's wrong with his face? And I was like, what do you mean what's wrong with his face? He was like, his face is changing. And I was like, and I really started looking, and Wheeler's face was physically changing in the mirror, not on him physically, but in the mirror. Like his eyes started getting sunken in, and like his face just started taking a different shape. And then after we pulled him out, he literally, Wheeler, I'm sorry, I hope you don't mind me talking about this. He literally almost like passed out, and then got super cold, and then got super hot. I just personally, mirrors to me have always been a portal to the other side that I don't feel is a good thing. Maybe it's just, and I don't want to say it's because of movies and stuff like that. It's just my personal preference, I guess, in so many words. I just don't feel like anything good would come out of it. I had thank you, Wheeler. I appreciate you, buddy. Love you. He said, no, it's fine. Quite an experience for sure. I just like growing up, the whole Bloody Mary, I think probably it started with the whole Bloody Mary thing, because I could have swore one time when I did it, I saw something in that mirror and that freaked me out for life. So, but candle scrying, put a candle in front of me and let me look into that. I'll do it all day. Okay. Yep. I'm okay with that. I just a personal preference in so many words, Rhonda, that I just don't feel.
I mean, everybody has their things that they either prefer to do or they don't really want to do. Be a part of it. I was just curious as to, what would that have? So it's not really the methodology of scrying. It's just you don't like the mirror part of it.
No, I just don't like the mirror scrying. I will candle scry. I will water scry. I'll do, just don't ask me to mirror scry. I just don't feel comfortable with it within myself to be able to do it. Just like I said, personal preference. Some people love it. Some people don't. Sorry, guys. I've had something going on with me, so don't mind me.
Let Angela Ward do some mirror scrying or last weekend.
Oh, really?
She said, but you let me do the mirror last weekend. Thanks, girl.
No, ma'am. I did not allow you to do that. You wanted to do that, ma'am. No, that one room that's up at the top of the cabin, all the way in the back. There's that mirror, and we've actually had some really good Estes methods sitting in that chair in front of that mirror, because we all have our own kind of thoughts and conclusions that we've come to through our all of our investigations at the cabin, but we believe that mirror right there is a portal between the cabin and the rancher. We believe whatever affected who. Everyone, yeah. I don't know if I can say his name or not. That's why I just said who.
Say it. We talk about it a lot on the show. So
okay. We believe, I can't say we. Well, maybe I can. I don't know. I'm just gonna say we, because that's what I'm sticking to. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. Okay. We believe that that whatever affected Randy over in the rancher can go between the rancher and the cabin, between that mirror. And we've had some very active Estes methods. We actually used a tripwire. The tripwire was going off when I was doing it. I was sitting in there in front of the mirror. Of course, I said I don't do mirrors, but I wasn't facing it. I was away from it. So, but in between that one room all the way on the other side, in the room where I was sitting, the tripwire was going off. A bunch of K2 play and everything. So we just believe that it can move in between both places through that mirror.
We had the tripwire going across we were in Melissa's room, and we had it going across the door, the threshold. Mm-hmm. And it was weird because in front of the door it was perfectly still, but on the outside around the corner, you could tell the lights were flashing. Mm-hmm. like she was standing outside the door, or something was standing outside the door, not coming in because we were in there. It was really, you could see the lights flashing against the wall. You couldn't actually see them, but you could see the lights flashing.
You can see the lights flashing. Yep,
yeah,
exactly. I mean, when we did the episode of Forgotten Friends with Forgotten Explorations, and and me and Kevin, Krista, and Devin, and when we did our first episode, we were at the cabin, and it was weird because our devices were going off, but literally Kevin heard a little girl giggle behind him. You can watch the episode. Anybody can watch the episode. And Kevin's like, everybody's like, did y'all hear that? And Kevin's like, yeah, that was a little girl giggle. I don't even want to turn around, and we all went and investigated. And then that one door that was in Randy's old room with the bell on it, we literally had that door closed, shut. And we got on our body cam. I put a cat ball in front of it, and I made sure that door was shut. Like, I pulled on it, made sure it was completely shut. We caught on our body cam that you could hear the door unlatch and open up, and the cat ball goes off. So yeah, it's crazy. That place, the cabin is Kevin's favorite. That's his favorite location ever. The cabin is definitely, like I said, in my top 5. There's some other places. No offense, Ryan. I hope you don't take any offense.
No. Yeah, no.
At all. I don't want to make the host mad.
No, I understand completely. I mean, like, I'm just glad stuff happens when people go out there. Never expect it to happen.
Yeah,
it's the thing when you go on these investigations. You never can expect paranormal activity to happen.
Not at all.
You really just go. You gotta go for the experience and hope something happens.
Exactly. We've been to places like we went to Trans-Allegheny, I think back in 2020, did a private there, and we hardly got any, and that's supposed to be one of the most haunted places out there, and we hardly got any activity at all when we were there. And then we went to the cabin, and we've gotten a massive amount of evidence, and then there's been other times when we haven't gotten anything, or we haven't gotten anything inside the cabin or the rancher, but out in the woods, I mean, we're seeing stuff left and right, and our K2s are going off, cat balls are going off. We're having great Estes method, double Estes methods. It's crazy, but they don't do it on command. They're not puppets. They're not there to like a horse and buggy show in so many words. If they want to communicate, they're going to communicate. If they don't want to, they're not going to do it.
Right.
And a lot of people don't understand that, especially when they're new to it and they're really interested in it. But then they get upset because nothing happens. Well, I mean, sorry that nothing happened, but they're not just gonna, it's not just gonna be an active thing constantly like you see on most of the shows that are on TV nowadays, which, don't get me wrong, I love watching. I watch all of them. Well, almost all of them, but And
it really depends on the day you go to. I've gone to like St. Albans, like on a Saturday or something, and it's been kind of quiet. Nothing really happened. And you'd be like, well, we should have been here last night. Shit was flying off the walls. It was crazy. The next day, not so much. Maybe they didn't have the energy to
Well, see, and I'm also a firm believer. It's all about the energy that you bring with you as well, and who you have with you. Because I mean, if you have a collective group that is just into it and they're just exuding that energy out, those spirits, entities, ghosts, like I said, whatever you would like to call them, are going to feed off of that, and they're going to be able to interact and communicate with you more if they want to. But if you're just sitting there like a bump on a log, not asking questions or not interacting or not really into it, then more than likely they're going to be like, forget this. I'm not even going to waste my energy to try to communicate with you. And that's what we try to tell people, especially at our public investigations. We're not guaranteeing that something's going to happen, but it's all about the energy that you exude out and the energy that you bring with you and interact with, because the more that you do that, the more 9 times out of 10 something's going to end up happening, whether it's just a little knock or it's a little footstep or it's a little whisper that you hear. I am a firm believer, and I'm a firm believer in just the energy that you put out into the atmosphere. So
Yeah, in those groups, sometimes it feels like it takes one person with the wrong attitude and it just ruins it for everybody.
Yes,
just
ma'am.
one person.
Yep, exactly. I am in agreement with you on that one, Rhonda, because it does. One bad apple can ruin the whole bunch, as the old Southern saying goes. You know, and it's true. It can. You know, if you have that one, and I hate to say it because I'm all about. I love, and I hate to say this because this is probably going to sound horrible, but I love making a skeptic a believer.
Yeah.
Because that's the best, because I don't believe in this, blah blah blah, so on. So okay, you know, and then when that one thing happens, you just see that look on their face, and you're like, see, told you, it's real.
And it's usually not the skeptic so much. Sometimes it brings the energy down. It's the person who was drugged by their significant other that doesn't want to be there. That's like, I don't even want to be here. What are we doing? Like, that's the one that just kills the energy. The skeptic, at least usually they're interacting, being like, no, or whatever. So
even in real life, if someone's pissed off or has a bad attitude, you're not going to talk to them.
Right.
You're going to want to avoid them.
Exactly.
You know? So the same thing will go for the spirits.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You know?
I mean, you know, you got to think they were all somebody that lived before, and they're just passed on, and you know, we're just trying to communicate with a human being. You know, you have to treat them with the same respect as you would treat someone that's flesh and blood human standing in front of you. You're talking face to face. You can't be mean, you can't be rude, you know, you can't be a butthead about it. I was trying to think of a word instead of the a-hole word. I'm sorry. About it, because you know, if you're rude to them, they're not going to want to interact with you. They're not going to want to try to get whatever they're saying out to you through EVPs, or you know, messing with your equipment and so on and so forth. I know I wouldn't want to do it. No, forget you, going about your business. So you know, that's why, you know, I try to, when we do our public investigations, I just try to tell everybody, just be respectful, just show up, you know, to speak with them like you would talk to somebody that's like right beside you. Or, you know, if you think it's an old lady, treat it like you would your nana or your grandma. Or if it feels like a motherly figure, treat it like you would want someone to treat your mother if they were speaking with her. You know, so it's just it's all about it's just all about the energy. Again, it's all about the energy. So
it's tough when you try to approach something like doing an EVP session. You try to approach like having a conversation, but it's tough when you don't get the responses right away. I noticed I would try to talk with people at the cabin. You know, it's try to talk to them, like having a conversation with them, but it's hard because you don't know what they're saying. You know, and I see, and I end up trying to going back into the rut where I ask, you know, is anybody here? The same basic questions that people usually ask on investigations. Well, how do you approach, like when you do an EVP session, are you more like trying to converse, or if you do, how do you do it? Because I have a hard time with it. Or do you basically ask response questions, trying to get a response?
We do a little bit of both. You know, we do the, okay, if you're here with us, can you tell us your name? Can you tell us how old you are? You know, are you a woman, a man, or a child? We'll do stuff like that. But, and then, you know, we'll also ask you know, if you could tell us, how did you pass? You know, those kinds of questions. But also at the same time, what we like to do is we also like to ask them about their life, what they did when they were living. Like, okay, what was your favorite dress if it's like a period, like a historic place, what was your favorite color dress that you love to wear? What did you like to do for fun? You know, we like to learn about how their life was when they were living, and then also what they're also experiencing in the other, you know, realm, in the afterlife. But sometimes we get some of the best EVPs when we're just having general conversations between all of us. We're just talking, kind of shooting the, you know what, and, you know, we'll just happen to go back and listen. And we're like, hold on, what was that? And we'll rewind it. And it's just like they're answering something that they're answering not even a question. They're just kind of having a conversation right along with us. So we like to try to do a little bit of both. And it also kind of, in my opinion, it's just my opinion, everybody has an opinion, just like everybody has and they all stink sometimes, but I just totally lost my train of thought. So sorry. That happens to me all the time. I've been up since 4:45.
Me all the time.
Every day of my life.
Yeah, I've been up since 4:45, so I'm just like, it just completely went out my brain. I don't know. Never mind. So, but yeah, I mean, there's just different approaches that you can have during any investigation, to try to, have that communication with, whatever is happening, or, at the location that you're at. Like I said, I can't remember what I was trying to say now. So
I'll do that sometimes. I'll start talking. And I'll be like, and I'll get to like have a point at the beginning of the like where I start talking, and I kind of go, I kind of lose the point while I'm talking. I'm like, what was he talking about again?
Well, I'm famous. People make fun of me because I could talk to the wall if it would listen. But I'll start talking about something and I'll have a valid point, but then I'll think of something. I'm like, oh, but this, and then there'll be like 10 side stories and 9 sub stories, and then 5 more other sub stories, and then I'm like, well, what was I talking about to begin with? What were we talking about? So yeah, I think that's probably what just happened. So please forgive me.
It happens to all of us.
Yeah. So, well, let me ask both of y'all something. I want to ask both of y'all something. I'm going to be the interviewer here now. Ryan, what is your favorite location that you've ever been to?
Excluding the obvious one.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. God, that's tough. Because, I mean, each location I've been to, like St. Albans is very special because I like the people there and I like going out there. Henricus Park is a good one.
Okay.
Very active location. Hanover Tavern was very active as well. So I guess I can't have a favorite location because each place has been good to me.
Yeah.
Where it's like, well, I don't want to leave these people out because, So I think every location has a special place in my heart.
I get it. That's why I asked.
Answer, but
yeah,
it's
no, that's why. No, that like literally, that's why I asked. Rhonda, how about you?
I can honestly say probably the one I've had the most fun at so far was St. Albans. That's just fun, and it's just a lot. I mean, I had one of my first there. I saw my first crawler, like shadow on the ceiling. So, like some of the first that come up, was there. Then my all-time favorite, but I mean, because I've investigated there so much, is Belgrove Plantation out in Port Royal. Just because it's rare you don't get any. I mean, we do have nights where we don't get anything. I mean, it happens, just like anywhere else. But usually you get something that makes you go, huh. That happened.
I've been interested in going there. I've heard a lot of good things about Belgrove, and I just haven't had a chance to go out there yet. So that's next on my. Well, I can't say next on my list, but that's one of the locations that I would love to get into. So, awesome. Yeah.
So we're getting towards the end of the show, at least the blog talk part of the show. That's going to cut off in about 3 minutes here. How do people get in touch with you? I'm going to talk about what you guys have coming up here in the next few months.
Well, I mean, I'm on Facebook, I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram. I post a lot more on Facebook. So Facebook would be the easiest way to get in touch with me or to see what I am, not me personally, but what's coming up and, with Flumeri or RTL, and the other groups, that I post stuff for. Get Haunted, Forgotten Explorations, Forgotten Friends, Dirt Roads Paranormal. Like, I I'm a lover of all. I'm a lover of all. But yeah, Facebook would be the easiest way for anybody to see exactly what's coming up with pretty much all of those. Like we'll be going to Crescent, doing a private in Crescent the 4th of August, and then Berkeley Plantation with Blue Promotions is the 12th down in Charles City, Virginia. Then the 18th, we're doing a private at Sweet Springs with a bunch of our group from RTL Paranormal. Sweet Springs, if you've never been to Sweet Springs, oh my gosh, you have to go to Sweet Springs. That place is nuts, but it is so active and it is so crazy and it's great. Anyways, but Facebook literally is the easiest way to get in touch with me. Just message me, just look me up, send me a friend request, whatever, you want to do. Pretty much everybody that's on here, I'm already friends with, but if there's anybody new, hit your girl up. So, but yeah, that would be the easiest way.
Awesome. And Rhonda, you are the co-host of the Orion Effect on the Rift Radio Network.
Yes.
Every Sunday night from 7 to 8 p.m.
And we have my buddy from the Boo Crew, Tyler Darnell of Covert Paranormal, with us this Sunday.
Oh, cool.
That's going to be a fun show. I had him on the show.
I love Tyler.
I think it was back in December of last year. It was a good interview. It was lots of fun.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's see.
We've got really good people in this community.
Yeah.
Yeah. We really do.
We've got some stuff coming up at the cabin.
Yes.
August 17th and
18th and 19th.
18th and 19th.
Yeah.
Haunted Nights is having a big event for Brad Seitz at the cabin on 360. 2 nights, all the money goes to Brad's family. Melissa Sykes, who's a great.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio.
Goodbye. Who's a great person, and Brad was a good person too. Very nice, very friendly, and unfortunately, we lost him last June. I think it was last month he passed away.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to put together a big paranormal investigation. There are going to be a lot of people out there coming out for that. I'm probably going to be out there Saturday night. Might come out for a little bit on Friday, but I'll definitely be out there on Friday night or Saturday night. Saturday night. I can't even talk.
Yeah.
For that, and then we've got Pamplin Park on September 23rd, and then week after that we've got the National Ghost Hunting Day at the cabin. We got a seance and paranormal investigation out there. So my phone cut off. So we're staying busy.
Yeah. I think we're going to be out there. I think FPRI is going to be out there for the benefit. So
nice. We get to hang out.
Awesome. Friday and Saturday, or just Sunday, but Saturday. But I know John. We had something, and John said, "Let's take it off the books and let's go out there." So
awesome.
Yeah.
I think Saturday night will probably be the most popular night because it's Saturday, and I wish you could be there, Rachel, because it's going to be a lot of fun people there. But Sweet Springs, definitely someplace I wanna check out.
Yeah, definitely. Sure. If you ever get the chance to go out there, that place is really phenomenal. We just did a private there a couple months ago, and I'm just gonna say in one of the hallways, we had so much activity. We literally thought another living human being was in the building with us. Like all the guys were like, "Ladies, y'all stay right here," and they were picking up like broomsticks and like pipes and all kinds of stuff. And they went to each exit, and all the exits were locked, but like literally audible footsteps, sounded like doors opening and closing, medical cabinets. It was crazy. But yeah, so I'm super excited to get back there. It's a very cool spot.
Yeah, I want to go out there. My crew went out there July 3rd. They like spur of the moment, like a couple of days, and they said it was off the charts.
It was. It is.
That's what, I think we have kind of a yearly rotation of places we go every year, at least once, like St. Albans, and they said it's going in our rotation. So I'm excited.
Yeah. I'm telling you, Rhonda, I'm telling you, that place is crazy. Ryan, I'm telling you, that place is crazy. The activity is some of the best activity I've ever had at any place that I've ever been, besides Old Hospital and College Hill. It's another spot y'all need to go to. And the Haunted Heyman House, y'all need to go there too. I do a lot in West Virginia, and there's a lot of stuff that happens in West Virginia.
Well, that would make sense.
Yeah. It's crazy. Like I'll message both of y'all and I'll let y'all know like whatever y'all want to know. So
yeah, I definitely want to hear. I mean, Austin told me about the haunted Heyman house because I mean they got their video up on YouTube about that.
Yep.
They said there was a crazy night you guys had.
It was a very crazy night, and it was a lot of validation for me personally. You know, with what I've got going on, I'm just going to put it out there. You know, so it was. That place was, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful home. It's a beautiful historic location, little town. But that place we had a lot of activity. If anybody wants to watch that video, they can go to Forgotten Explorations and watch it. And everything that happened there we were just kind of like, there's no way that just happened. You know, it's one of those spots. So
you were there with Clifton Paranormal when they came out to the cabin, right?
Yes, sir. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Thank you. Did you get a chance to watch their video yet?
I did. Yep. I did. That was another crazy night.
I watched they got to the end and they're in the backwoods and they got lost trying to get back to the road and they kept going around in circles.
Yes.
Like, how's that happen? But
those woods, the woods behind the cabin can get you sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
If you are not very familiar with them, like I always go the way of I call it the card tree with all the cards hanging off of it.
Yeah.
I always try to go that trail because I know I can always find that tree. Because I mean, once you get kind of deep into those woods and it gets thick back there, you get disoriented, and then you start hearing crap around you, and you're like, oh my God, where is that coming from? What's going on here? And you're just trying to get the heck up out of Dodge, and so you're gonna get turned. You're gonna get turned around.
They were in the way backwoods where you basically just go in,
yes,
and then you come back out. There's nothing like no paths or anything to get lost on.
Well, when we did the Forgotten Friends episode there, and me and Krista were doing the double Estes, and we got Randy through the Echo. We got Randy through the Ovulus before they pulled us out. Kevin heard as I was saying stuff, and I said, "Run, murder, her," and like was just saying all kinds of crazy stuff. And Krista was saying stuff that was right along in line with me. Kevin heard something running behind me and looked up, and he saw two white eyes. And, deer's eyes, I think, are like green or yellow or something. He said he saw two white eyes staring at us. And then all of a sudden, poof, it was gone. So it was the craziest thing ever. So.
Even walking through those woods during the day, you feel like there's something there. It just feels off. And
feels very off.
Yeah. And you have the idea of there being something because it's haunted. Yeah, I've been out there. I know I know there's something there.
Yeah. But
still, it just feels weird compared to even when I go to a battlefield like Gaines Mill or Cold Harbor. I walk in the woods. I don't feel that the way I feel when I'm at the cabin.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And
I get it. I mean, we were just up at the Bash this past weekend up in Gettysburg. And that's only the second time I've ever been to Gettysburg in my whole entire life. And that's hollow ground. That's the biggest battle with the most casualties in American history. And and I don't feel half as uneasy out there in the middle of a battlefield as I do in those woods of the cabin. I'm gonna tell you that right now. There's something back there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess don't know what happened other than the battle and but I don't know what people have done.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the thing. That's the thing that right there. There's what you just said. I agree with you. You never know what happened because of like you said, the battle, but you don't know what happened afterwards and who has been out there before you acquired it. So
yeah, that's not history that you're going to find out anything about.
Yep. Exactly.
So, well, guys, I want to thank you both for coming on the show and hanging out. Rhonda, I appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Rachel, I appreciate you.
Thank you, Ryan. And Rhonda, it's very nice to meet you. And I can't wait
nice to meet you too.
For sure.
Yeah.
And we will talk to you guys soon. Have a great night. And hopefully we'll see you back at the cabin soon.
Yeah, we'll be back out there. I just don't know. Next couple weeks, it's not going to happen.
Well, I mean,
in the best way possible.
I understand.
We're going to be all over the place. So
we will have other investigations.
We'll definitely be back out there. So
you guys can show up too. So we'll get you back. So
you sure will.
All right, guys. Good night,
Thanks,
Rachel.
guys, for watching.
Bye.
Bye.
That was fun talking to Rachel. We have all right. He's in this band called When Gods Collide. It's like I talked to a girl named Koa Eve, and she's like asked her if she wanted to come on the show, and she's just not, and she didn't want to do it. She got personal stuff going on, but she said her boyfriend's in a band called When Gods Collide, and they said they had a paranormal experience. So I'm like, we'll have them on the show. So they're very heavy metal band. Okay. They sent me a video, a link to one of their songs called The White Witch, and it is awesome. Very like hardcore. So we're gonna have metal. Yes. Yeah, I'm going to use that as a song next week for the show, and we're going to have them on the show to talk about their paranormal experience and see how it goes. So that's what we have coming on next week. And you've got Tyler.
Got Tyler.
Tyler
Darnell. I always joke with him because whenever we're riding somewhere, if he calls my friend's phone, it says Tyler Darnell. It says Tyler Darnell's calling. Tyler Darnell's calling, and I'm like,
Tyler
Darnell.
Oh my god. Oh boy. All right. So I'm gonna go because I'm tired, and I will talk to you later.
All right.
I'm glad you're feeling better because you said you weren't feeling good last weekend.
Much more pep in my step today for sure.
Yeah, we had a bunch of Angie was sick. Well, RJ was sick last week. Then Angie got sick, and I knew because my throat started hurting like Thursday and Friday. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna have this investigation, and I'm gonna end up with fucking strep throat. Thanks, Julie. She said good chat. And I'm gonna being sick, and I always feel bad, especially if I do which is I'm the one who plans all the investigations at the cabin. So when I start feeling sick, I'm like, man, I'm gonna have to cancel it or not cancel it or like bug out, which I'm sure they would understand, but I still feel bad.
Yeah.
But luckily, I did not have to do that, and because I wanted to just relax and just kind of chill out and just hang out at the cabin and let everybody else investigate. But apparently there weren't enough people. We couldn't get enough team to come out to the investigation. So I ended up having to go out, which was fine. I had a good time. I ended up investigating with Jason Gray.
Okay, yeah.
Paranormal.
Yeah.
So we had a good time. But my plan was just to chill out and because my throat was hurting. I don't want to talk too much. But that flew out the window when like 3 people from the team showed up. So it's like I have to go out there. So anywho, that's what happened this weekend. It was fun. We had a good time.
Yeah, sometimes the smaller groups, y'all always have a crowd out there, and I know it's a little bit less than normal, but sometimes the smaller groups make it a little bit more fun.
Yeah, and it's more intimate with people, and it wasn't like we were donating the money to some special cause or anything. It was just a random middle of the summer investigation that I was more just to do it because we haven't had anything since April for the Easter investigation, and it was just like, we got to do something. We can't just do April and then wait all the way till September to have another one.
Yeah.
So, and of course, when I made the investigation, the whole thing with Brad obviously wasn't a thing. So
Yeah.
I mean, I was thought that it would have been like April to September before we had another investigation, and so it worked out. Everyone had a good time, so that's all that
Yeah.
matters.
That's right. That's all that matters.
Had a fun
Once a month
experience.
is a good cadence. You had one this month, and you'll have one, next month. So it's a good cadence.
It was funny. We have one set up for each month. We don't have one set up in October.
That's unusual.
Yeah. I think we want to I guess save it up for people who want to rent it.
Yeah, that's a popular
and stuff.
Yeah. And people are starting to wind down a little bit after October. People seem to break a little bit for November and December.
We usually have try to do like an investigation for just investigators. So maybe you got to pick a weekend. So I'll talk to Dennis and see what weekends open and be like, all right, this is for the Halloween party type, just for our friends who can make it out. A lot of people that we know are born in October too. So we have like a birthday party for everybody that's born in October.
That's cool.
Out there. Yeah. So we have to start maybe thinking about doing that. So anywho,
all right.
Thank you again for coming on the show. I appreciate you.
You're welcome. I will talk to you later.
Good luck Sunday. I'll be tuning in for sure.
It'll be fun.
Looking forward to it.
All right. Bye.
For sure. All right. Have a good night. Bye. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. There's somebody watching me right now. So I'm going to let you guys go. Hope you have a great night. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.